All right, on today's video, we're talking all about how our kids are dealing with moving to Disney World.
Hey everyone, Dan and Leslie back again. We are right now in the process of moving to Disney World. Our house is like a stone's throw away. We are so excited about this. But one of the biggest questions that we have gotten from all of our, especially family and friends, is what about the kids? What do the kids think? How are you dealing with that? And we hope we can address that in this video.
We recently did a video on our biggest fear about moving, and we said it was hurricanes. But if we're being completely honest, it is how our kids are gonna adjust. I mean, that's probably the conversation that we have the most often, is wondering if they're gonna make friends and get settled well and enjoy it and be happy and all of those things that you want for your children.
Okay, again, this is one of the most frequently asked questions from people that we know very well and that know our kids.
Even those that we don't know well, I think, ask us this question.
Yeah, for sure. And it's pretty valid because our kids are absolutely half the family and we do need to consider them. We've also heard a ton of listeners to the podcast and viewers of this channel say that they wish they could do something like travel the world or make a move, come to Disney World, something like that, and they would, except for what their kids think. It's a very valid question. Honestly, the biggest thing that we've learned is to not procrastinate our dreams and to figure out a way to work it out with them.
Very valid concerns going into this are leaving family, leaving friends, and then pulling kids out of activities that they are, emotionally attached to or really involved in. So that's kind of like really the three biggest things that I think most of us worry about whenever we're thinking about making a drastic change like this.
Absolutely. So we have a ton of family, both sides of our family, so both those sets of our parents are here. So that is definitely something to consider. We have a lot of friends here, but honestly, we hang out mostly as a family. So one of the things, the first mitigating factor, if you will, was that as a family, we sat down and we talked about this and we asked them their opinions. And we had actually been talking about leaving Oklahoma for a while. The original plan was to take a gap year and tour the world. This was pre-pandemic. And then through the pandemic, we started changing that and realizing that we wanted to move to be in Orlando next to Disney World. And we started talking to them about that. And they were actually way more excited about that than they were about traveling the world.
While it might not have made a difference what their opinions were whenever we talked to them, ultimately we wanted to get their opinions and talk it out as a family and make the best decision for our family as a whole.
Yeah, and one of the ways that we are addressing the leaving friends piece specifically is we are moving schools mid-year. So when I was a kid, I vividly remember going into high school, leaving where I lived in Tennessee, moving like 8 hours away, and starting the summer not knowing anyone. And I spent almost 3 months by myself because both parents worked. And it was just a very, very boring summer, and I didn't have a whole lot of fun that first summer by myself in the house. And so we're hoping that moving mid-year, they'll have a full semester there in Orlando to make some friends, get to know at least a few people that they could know and hang out with through the summer.
Currently in our district, this year, a brand new STEM academy opened up as an option for kids to go to instead of the regular high school. Since we were moving, Aiden chose not to go to that school, but his very best friends did. So he is actually getting kind of a trial run at making new friends because his bestest friends aren't at the same school as him right now.
Yeah, and then Jennings, the little one, he has a lot of experience with kids kind of going in their separate directions because one of his best friends just moved far away, and last year a new elementary school opened and split the district that we were in half. So a lot of his friends went there and did not stay with him at his school. So this is a good trial run is kind of like how we look at it.
Yeah. And then finally, one of the silver linings of the last year and a half where, we were all kind of isolated from other people outside of our little home grouping is that we all learned that it's easy to maintain relationships virtually. So a lot of Aiden's friends live an hour and a half away. He plays with them on video games, and actually just got to meet them in person for the first time. He's been playing with them for over a year.
They have spent hours every single night together. This group of 5 or 6 kids, they're like best friends, never met each other in person until a few days ago. They've been doing this for over a year. So that's really comforting that he can do that from Orlando and still have that same relationship that they have now. Let's talk about the results so far. And to be fair, we haven't moved yet. So this is subject to change, but we are getting very, very close, and it has been a subject of discussion and on everybody's mind for over a year now. So I think we are fairly confident in the way this is gonna go.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. So both kids are very, very excited. They do have their reservations, of course. I mean, to be fair, we as grown-ups have our reservations, but they are very excited.
Aiden specifically is making plans to join different clubs. He is researching the high school that he is going to go to in the spring, and he has already found the clubs that he wants to be a part of. He has learned through going to this new school where he's trying to make friends. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So being a part of a group, he understands that that is going to be a good way for him to get involved. And then he's excited about some of the stuff that that school does. Like, he found out for homecoming that this high school rents out SeaWorld. We don't do that here in Oklahoma. Like, that's not something that's even an option. So he's pretty excited about things like that.
Yeah, I said, if homecoming's at SeaWorld, where's prom? And then I also threatened to chaperone. He didn't like that. Jennings absolutely loves his teacher this year and his class and his school. So that has been a little sadder because he is very sad to leave mid-year. Probably the biggest thing is that the kids in our town, they go to it's called Biz Town, where it's like this little pretend town inside of this building that has like a bank and an Arby's, and anyway,
pretty cool.
Yeah, the kids all get like their job to do. But we found out that field trip is in January, so he's gonna miss it. But he is excited to get to experience the things in Florida. So hopefully that transition goes well.
Finally, we're gonna talk about once we get there and our plan for that end of things, because we don't wanna go into this blind and then not really have a direction once we get there. So we are right now working 2 full-time jobs because we are both trying to finish up and wrap up our careers here, and we have opened a travel agency. We've talked about it here before. It's called Fantastical Vacations. That is a full-time job for both of us just because of the amount of work that we're putting into it, for everything from making videos like this to making the podcast to doing trainings with our agents to doing an annual meeting that's coming up. It's just a lot of time, and so we're very excited that once we get there, we won't have the actual employee jobs, like the W-2 go-to work jobs during the day, that we can get a lot of travel agency stuff done during those times. So we should have a lot of family time. So we are excited to set aside extra family time every week that we don't get to do here and spend that time exploring with our kids.
Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna feel like to only have one job.
I know.
We've already been talking a lot about all the different activities that everybody wants to do as a family, and we're definitely planning on being more active and exploring. We want to see all different parts of Florida. We want to go up the East Coast and explore places. We're talking about potentially getting scuba certified, hopefully taking more cruises since we'll be right there by the ports. So lots of really fun activities that we want to be a part of.
Yeah, I found out there's an auto train the other day.
So cool.
That you can go to the train station, which is, you know, right up the road, load your car onto the train, take the train up to Washington, D.C., unload your car, and you can just road trip down back. I mean, that's so fun. We're
cool.
Totally gonna do that.
Totally doing that.
There you have it. That's how the kids are coping, what they think. They're actually really, really excited. We'll see how it goes when we get there. But we made a decision that we wanted to accommodate the kids' desires and feelings, but we didn't want to have our entire life directed by those feelings. So we've been very open, telling them all of the plans and letting them ask as many questions that they want and just being very, very honest. And if they have concerns, we address those together, but it's not going to stop us from doing this dream and you know, jumping in with everything and then mitigating their concerns, our concerns, with different plans on how we're going to make the best of it. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and also join us over on our podcast. We publish that twice weekly on Sundays and Wednesdays. It's called Addicted to the Mouse, and you can learn more about us.
So we will see you on the next video.